traders, what's going on? It's Relentless here, and welcome back to another series, right? Welcome back to another episode one of a new series that I'm going to call Relentless Volume. Over the last couple of weeks, the conversation has been coming up time and time again about volume, right? Being able to recognize volume in key trades, understanding how volume works when it comes to the level 2 time and sales, and just the ins and outs of what happens when I'm about to get into a trade and how volume affects me getting in and looking for those good breakouts. So episode 1, video 1 will come from June 3rd, so a couple days ago. And what I'll be doing throughout this series is that I'll be going back throughout random days, because every single day there will be tons of examples of how I approach volume in my trading. And so I have two examples today, one from today's live stream on penny stock GEO, and one from June 3rd, so a couple days ago, from VTNR. So we'll start with June 3rd, VTNR. Here we go. I have the video muted. And so what I want you guys to see, right, is I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit. I rewind it just so we can, kind of get a good idea of what's going on. So this is VTNR on the 3rd, right? And one thing I want us to take note of is the setup that's going on right here, right? So VTNR, if I'm to pull up the charting, which I will do as well, right? Let's go here on E-Trade, VTNR. So you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at real time in these trades. So this is the 3rd right back here. Let's come in, let's zoom in. So VTNR, look at this move right here, right? So it was a continuation stock because the day before we had a bit of a move and we kind of came down, but it was curling back up. So it was a familiar stock. It was on the radar. We had it on watch. And so we're going to be watching here for this trade, right? So we come in and real time, it's going to be right in this area here. So let's enlarge. This is going to be about 1027, right? 1027. I'm kind of just watching it. We had this huge move up, right? So from low volume, right, I'm going to bring in the drawing tool here just to make everything clear. So from a low volume to a nice incline, and then we have the lighter volume pullback, which is exactly what we want on a pullback. Whenever the stocks are dipping down, we want to see light volume in comparison to what we had on our bigger green candles previously. And so that's exactly what we were having here, a lighter volume pullback. And so right here we had a high of 845. So I'm watching this level here. I'm watching this level. For those of you who have been around, you guys know what the bull flag is by now. And for those of you who don't, the bull flag is simply, if you imagine what a pole is, a flag pole, and then a flag that's kind of just going sideways. You have that pole up, and then you have the consolidation, right? If you picture the American flag hanging on a pole, or it might be triangular, that's what the bull flag is. And so in this case, although it's not picture perfect, it's more of an elongated pole to then get up here, right? Elongated pole to then get up here to then flag sideways. So although it's not quite straight up, we still have this move up right here, and then we're flagging sideways. And so high of the bull flag, break of 845 is what I'm watching right here. Lighter volume pullback. So I want you guys to watch the video along here, because we're going to go back to YouTube now that we have the context, right? So I'm watching this setup here. Here we go. Let's enlarge. So I'm going to be waiting patiently, right? Once again, high volume, lighter volume pullback, and in real time, I'm watching the setup play out, and I'm just going to be waiting to see what happens. Understanding that it's a stock that has potential, that can move quickly. I'm just going to be waiting patiently. So I'm going to switch back and forth between the other couple of stocks, kind of just waiting, as it's on my, it's still on my level 2 right here, but I'm kind of just watching some other stocks, making sure nothing else is curling up. So VTNR, let's skip ahead a little bit. So here we go, right? Let's watch the level 2 Hold on, let's go back a bit. Let's watch level 2 for the first 15 seconds here. First 15-20 seconds before the breakout is going to come. And so if we watch this level 2, you're going to see the stream right here. Watch the stream, watch the time and sales. You have a few buyers here and there, a few sellers here and there. It's moving very slow until it's not, right? So these are signs, right? We have a few buyers going through 35. This is not a bad sign. 37. And so the entry is at 42, right? It's going to start to move right here. See that? Volume starting to come into the trade. The initial entry was actually at 42, but because I was watching at some other stocks, I'm going to miss the initial entry point. But anyhow, once again, let's go back. So we're at 1 hour, 18 minutes, 33 seconds, right? Let's go back to 1 hour, 17 minutes, and just take another look at the level 2 in time and sales. So volume is light, right? Let's just take a look at what's going on here. So you got a few people that are kind of just buying and selling here and there, and this is how it's been for the last 5 minutes. But understanding that the setup is there is why I'm not really switching away from the stock. 33 by 35, a few people buying, just not much going on. But then the price is going to gradually get up here to 38, 39, and we're going to start to see more buyers rolling in. So the reason why I'm doing this series as a multiple episode series is because there's a lot of different examples of how volume works. Volume is subjective to certain stocks, certain price range, temperature of the market, and so there's a lot of different things I'll be going over as we go through different examples. And so here we are, once again, just waiting patiently. Everything starts with a setup, right? There needs to be a setup before I'm even watching for volume. So understanding the bull flag, I'm now just waiting here as we're getting closer and closer. So here we go. See this first wave of buying on the ask. For me, I think for swim green with green arrow going up on my time and sales means buying on the ask. Buying on, well, let's say at or above the ask, right? And so here's a few buyers, right? Here's a few buyers. That's going to come through. A few more at 38, a few more at 40. And just like that, the level 2 is starting to really roll quickly. So 844, we have orders going through. Now, on E-Trade, if you're going to be using E-Trade Pro, you have to understand that the software is a little slower when it comes to the level 2 itself versus the time and sales down here. The time and sales, this instrument will capture every single price that goes through, but the level 2 will lag behind at times. And so when you have these platforms like Lightspeed and DAS, the level 2 will be just as fast as the time and sales. So keep that in mind if you are watching at E-Trade Pro for a possible broker, right? So I'm watching it here. I'm not kind of worried as of yet for the early entry at 42, although the volume is coming in. Sometimes I like to wait for extra confirmation. So I'm going to be watching here. I'm going to pull the stock back up. We're coming up nicely. We're getting this high of day break. So for the strategy, part of it is me buying high, selling higher. So here we go. I'm going to watch. We're going to have a few sellers at 50 here. 5,000 shares there, 4,000 shares, 12,000 shares as well. So I'm going to be getting long around 50. Somewhere there in that range, 48. I'm going to notice the seller and the fact that we didn't break over 50 instantly and wait a little bit more just to make sure we're not going to get a false breakout, because at the $0.50 and whole dollar, we see a lot of big sellers for whatever reason. That psychological resistance, people say that they want to unwind bigger positions there. So I'm watching. At this point, volume is curling back into the stock, right? And so I'm waiting for this break of 50. Here we go. Watching, waiting. And if I turn on the volume, you guys will even hear me say it's looking like it's ready to go. So let's watch this right here. Looks like we're gonna go here. Now, see, and you hear that cue. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we have those sellers at 50. It's never guaranteed, right? It's never guaranteed. But we have those sellers at 50, but the price is hanging around very close to the level. Oftentimes what we see when there's major resistance is that we'll come to 50 and then drop right back down to 40, maybe 35. People not liking what they're seeing. But when the market is hot, people are aggressive. Traders are ready to buy higher and higher. So here we are. You can see on the time and sales a lot of buying on the ask at 850. So I'm gonna punch. My order is gonna go through right there for 400 shares. and I'm long at 50 as well. So here we are watching. I'm gonna add it 53. Now I'm in at 50, and it's a stock that has potential to go higher, 60, 65, 70. So when it comes to me adding an area at 53, 55, 60, I don't mind. I'm gonna look for those ads. So right now I'm up to 800 shares, and I'm gonna look and try and unwind as the trade is going higher. So here we are, adding again at 55. It's looking good. So I'm in the 3 positions, 1,200 shares. Here we go. 59. Watching. 60 can be an ad right here as well, right? But it depends on how aggressive I am and how good the stock is looking in the moment. So here we are, 60, 63, 65, 66, and I'm selling the first position at 65, 64 because we're going up nicely, and then it seems like we have people taking profits, people hitting the bid. So you might have some people that got in there at 50 and they're looking to unwind. And so I always take that as a cue as well to get out of the trade. So you can try and sell into the green to get those good fills. The hard thing is that we never know where the stock is going to go. Is it going to go to 66, 70, 75, 80 and then slow down? So whenever I see the first sign of selling, red with red arrow going down, meaning for me selling at or below the bid, that's where I look to start unwinding. And so if you guys remember on CLOV, I didn't trade it in the open yesterday or the day before because for whatever reason my E-Trade time and sales here would not show selling at or below the bid, and it was too much of a problem for me to get involved with the trade. I think I had to restart the platform because I was talking to my older brother. He was telling me he was getting trades coming through at the bid, and then so I had no idea why that was the case. But VTNR unwinding right here, 65, 64. I'm still holding one position. I've locked up some realized profits, and I'm holding one position now at 52 average cost to see what it wants to do. Because right here, if we hold 60, I'm ready to add back at 66 for a high if they push. So here we are at 60. I'm going to watch. There's 64. I'm going to get ready here. 12,000 share buyer going through at 63. That's a decent sign. And so can we hold 60? I'm coming out right there, but we didn't quite break below the level yet. Buying back. Let's see what it does. Are we going to go? Are we not? And it's not. So we're breaking below. Are we? See how it's still there? Are we going to break below? It's holding for a while here. 60. In this case, I would watch 66 though. You know, I'll be waiting here at for a move over 66. And look at that, volume is going to come back in. In most situations, this will require a long again because we held fairly high to the high if they level on the bit of a dip. So let's see, will I go long? And you see back at the highs at 66. So we got to move to 70 here. This one a little tricky, but there we go. So there's 70. I'm going to add to the position. Are we going to get a move to 75 and 80? So in most situations, this is how I'm playing out my trades. When it's not those crazy parabolic stocks like LEDS, CLOV, those stocks I don't add because we're getting 60, 70, 80 cent breakouts and it's a little bit more tricky. But the stocks like VTNR in these situations are when they're moving a little bit slower, the opportunity to add comes along. And so going back to the beginning of it all, we went from light volume to now increasing volume and high of day volume as well. So when we see a good setup, it's a matter of will we get high volume to confirm the breakout. And so that's exactly what we had here on VTNR. So on to the next example, right? On to the next example. And what I'll do before I switch away is come back to the charting. So real time, let's remove the drawing there. Real time, this is what I was seeing. Not knowing if we were going to get the increase, but sticking with the stock, watching, waiting. And so from 845 we had to move all the way to 887, and I was able to capitalize right there. So not bad. And then if we look at it here, we kind of consolidate. We had a high of 87 and a high of 91. Break of 91, you can see more volume is going to come in, and it's going to go all the way to 960. So break of 9, I would approach in the same way that I approached this area here. Will we get high volume? Can we hold the key levels and keep going? So that's VTNR. On to the next one. This one is going to be penny stock. Let's move this here. This is going to be penny stock. Where is it? Okay, there we go. Let's pull this over here. So this one is going to be stock OEG from today's live stream. And I'll hide the chat here so we'll have some more space. There we go. So here we are. I came back a little bit, and let's mute the audio once again. Let's not forget that. So AHT GEO. So there we go. Excuse me, GEO. I think I said OEG. All these symbols, man. But anyhow, GEO is going to show us another example of the price lingering. So on the last example, VTNR, we saw a break of 850, but with not a lot of bigger sellers, I would say. Let's look at GEO right here in this situation. So for context, I'll pull up the charting like I did for the other one. GEO. Let's see. This one was from today. Let me get the time frame in here so we can see what's going on. 9:45. Okay, on the 1 minute. So 9:45 GEO. Look at this right here, right? So once again, it all starts with the setup. And so if we go back to the setup again, this is a flat top breakout right here, right? And you can see a bit of a flag in there, right? You can see that flag, right? You can see that bull flag in there. But we do have the consolidation. We're going sideways, and so are we going to break down, or are we going to break to the upside, right? And so when you have a stock like this, GEO, once again, you know, it's one of our watch list stocks. We know it has potential. The pre-market highs is up here. And so high of 9.15 for the pre-market highs. We're currently at $9. And so far we had increasing volume. This is exactly what we want to see for a good setup, right? So we're consolidating sideways. We have a high of 99, high of 90, of 9. High of 904, high of 902, and so you can see $9 is a key level right here. And so let's, now that we have the context, let's look back at the video here. So this is of course real time, right? I can't read the future. Only in hindsight can I now go back and show the example. So here we are, real time, right? Real time. The setup is kind of coming along. So I'm kind of doing the same thing where it's like, you know, I'm just waiting around to see what happens, and can we get that breakout, right? So let's go back a little bit here on level 2. We have big buyers coming in, 12,000 shares, 7,800 shares, 2,800 shares. So people are liking it. People are aggressive. We have 16 million shares of volume. We're up 40% on the day, up $2 from yesterday's close. Stock with high potential, watch list stock. Here we go. So $9 is the entry that I'm watching. And so watch this right here, right? Look at these sellers. So once again, at the half and whole dollar, the psychological resistance. People love to unwind big positions here. So look at this, 26,000 shares, 24,000 shares, 36,000 shares. Then you have a 10,000 share position there at 05 and so forth. But look at that though. Look at the time in sales, and look at the tape here on the level 2 itself. 4,500 shares going long, 3,900 shares, 1,100 shares, 3,000 shares. This right here is good. This will buy up these sellers quickly, right? Because if a lot of people are buying on the ask and are expecting it to go, we can see that move. So here we are. I'm watching it to break over 9 and hold above 9. And so we're going to see 902 and even more sellers. 48,000 shares, 46,000 shares, 48,000 shares, 47,000 shares, 41,000 shares. Whenever this happens, sometimes stocks will reject instantly. People will see big sellers. Everybody would hit the bid. Will drop back down to 890, 880, and so forth. But here we are. And we are going to pull back a little bit, right? Right there exactly to 880. We're going to pull back a little bit. But this one is going to be a little different in the sense that it's going to be bouncing, right? Because usually if we do pull back to 880, 870, 860 is coming, this one is going to bounce. And so real time, if you guys listen in to me, I'm going to say it's looking interesting here. So let's kind of just listen in and watch.
Back up though, so it looks like it wants to go. But we got to break these big sellers here. We got a wall. A lot of them at 902.
So, you know, we're curling back up. We're lingering. Anytime we linger around resistance is a good sign. It means that the bulls are ready to be aggressive. So here we go. Let's mute it again. I'm watching now. This one is already a high volume stock. Look at this, 18,000 shares at 96. People looking to step it up right below right above, well, I guess right below the resistance. So here we are. Let's wait for that stream of green here. Right, so we're going to see some more buying on the ass come through. We're going to still be waiting for it. We're testing the level there, kind of just flirting with the highs, waiting. So back to 90. It has that range in the way how it's bouncing from 83 to 902. And so as long as it doesn't break down below 80, 70, and 60, as long as we continue to bounce at the highest, it's a good sign. So, you know, just waiting here patiently. Here we go, watching, waiting. And so what happens sometimes is that some of these orders might be false orders, or the individuals can cancel some of the orders or some of their shares are getting filled. So watching, we're back down to 86, 90 on the bid. It's kind of just bouncing and fluctuating. But I'm just waiting for the setup to really take place right here. Patiently waiting. So it's coming. And this is from today, right? This is from today's stream. So let's wait patiently. Let's continue to watch. Let's just soak up the level 2. Here's some more volume. So there's some buying on the ass coming again, right? So 4,000 shares, 98. We have buyers going through at 02 already down here. So, you know, let's look out for these big sellers to start breaking down. Look at this. Look at that right there. Let's look at these orders individually, right? Yes, we have a ton of sellers, but this is why when the market is hot, 7,000 shares at 02, 22,000 shares at 02, 4,600 shares, 9,500 shares, 22, 7,000 shares, 4,500 shares, 36. When we have these type of buyers, we will eat away at these sellers quickly. So here we go. I'm going to see that, and we're not even going to get to see the rest of the orders getting bought up, right? So like I mentioned, sometimes if it's one individual, because they see the stock being super strong, they might want to wait to get that higher out, and so they might cancel the rest of the position, or in some situations, we'll just buy up the entire position. And so I'm seeing all that volume coming in. I'm liking the signs. I'm long. I'm getting in at 901 for a super good entry here as we're going to come up higher. There's 910. So now I'm watching 10, more than likely for an add. Will I get it? And in these situations, I want to see us holding above that previous resistance. Can we hold above 902? Can we hold and make new highs? So we waited patiently as we're bouncing in the range for the volume spike. Then we're long. Then we're watching here. See? Add. That add is going to come right on time. I'm adding. My average cost comes up to 907. And here we go for the next move up. 15, 18, 25, 28. I'm selling one of those positions already there at the highs to take some profits. Now waiting, and since we have a high of 930, if we can hold 920 and then make new highs, I'll add back at 30 to continue going here. Let's see if I'm going to get that trade. I'm back in already at 28, which is a little aggressive, but here we are, 36. We didn't get a quick squeeze to 40, 45, 50, so selling right there around 36 and waiting again. Now can we hold mid-20s? I'm going to unwind and look to get back in. 38 now to high. I'm back in, getting in around 42 it seems like. And this one is just strong. I mean, look at it go, right? In at 41, 42. Now, can we see a move up there to 50? Right, that's the next target. So here we are, 45, 46, 47. Are we going to see the squeeze? I'm going to take profits there and look to get back in at 51. So that's how I'm approaching all the trades. And basically the exact same way. There must be, it always starts with the setup. There must be a setup, right? There must be a good setup. And now there must be volume to confirm the breakout. And so today we're going to get two really good examples in as to why when there is big resistance, if we can hug the resistance like we did on the last example at was 850, it's good. And even if we can bounce in a range at the resistance, come down, hold support, get up there to the resistance again, test the levels. But once the volume comes through on the breakout, and all of this is in relation to market sentiment. The market has been a little bit slow the last couple of weeks. Things have finally been picking up over the last week or so. And so being that we're seeing these exaggerated breakouts, there is no hesitation to buy in these key levels. 2 weeks ago, I would have bought at 902. The stock would have been right back down. But being that things are switching around, the market is getting hotter, we're seeing these breakouts working more and more and more. And so that's where I'm looking to capitalize. And so as we're going, I'm looking to increase my size. Instead of 400 shares, can I be buying in with 900 shares, 1,500 shares, 2,000 shares, and get to capitalize the same way on these same setups? So that's what I'm looking forward to doing here over the next couple of weeks. We're back at 49, watching for 50 here. Can we hold, let's say, mid-30s and then break over 50? That'll be a good sign. Watching, here we go. Will it happen? Long, 29,000 share seller, but I'm not worried as long as we're getting that same attitude, that same aggressiveness with buyers getting in higher. So here we are, I'm long at 50. I'm going to come out a little too soon. You see how I'm going to come out there? I saw some red, and this is why I always look for selling on the bid. I'm going to see some selling on the bid mixed in right here, and I'm going to come out thinking we're going to drop, but it's going to actually hold, and I might miss the trade there. Did I miss the trade? 54. And so, yeah, it's going up, and I'm not in there. So, you know, but buying at 60, being aggressive, will it go to 70? You know, there's 67, 69, 72. And so when it's hot, we can even buy slightly higher than we would want to and get those results. So that was GEO and VTNR. I'll be going over a lot more examples, different kind of examples when it comes to other stocks, other price ranges, and everything else. Because trading a stock at 50 cents is very different from trading a stock at $9. Likewise with a stock at $20, let's say CLOV or LEDS that we had recently. So I'll be going over the different price ranges. I'll be talking about last year and how volume has been slightly different over time. So stay tuned for episode 2 of the volume playlist here. Relentless volume, right? That's what I'm going to call this section. We're going to be talking about these trades, these ins and outs, the analysis, how I utilize volume to be better in the trades, and so forth. So look forward to more videos like this. Things are a little challenging sometimes. I realize I am gonna need that office space soon, man, because there's a lot of distractions working from the house, especially since I'm sharing a room with my younger brother, right? That's like the ultimate distraction there in itself. There's that, other things going on, having to run errands, helping, just helping out generally around the house. But what I realize is that once you're gone, whether it's to a job or to an office space, whatever the case is, they know you're gone for X amount of time. And so there is no interruptions, right? And so, it's something that I will look into here in the future as we continue to grow. So, because I'm having issues getting out the videos that I want to get out, right? That's just let you guys know that. But hopefully you did enjoy the video, not to ramble on too long. Hopefully you did enjoy. Stay tuned for episode 2. We're going to be going into a lot more details in the upcoming episodes. This is only a touch on the surface of what's to come. So with that being said, guys, hopefully you did enjoy episode 1. It's been Relentless Trader, and I am, of course, signing out.